Insurasales Live. I'm Brandon Todd, and we have a special guest for you today, Joshua Youngs of Medicare Peace of Mind. And this is going to be a little bit different than most because he has some questions for me. He wants to know who the heck I am, says he's suspicious of me.
That's right.
So let's go for it.
Let's do it. How you doing, Brandon? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
So my first thought was, because I've been in the industry since 2005. I worked for, you might even know him, Rudy Deutschman, who owned an FMO in Colorado. And so when I heard about Insurasales and what was going on, I was naturally interested in who's behind it. And then I had some natural questions. So I've now learned a little bit, but I wondered, who is Brandon Todd and why is he doing this?
Well, I mean, I've been in the insurance business. I mean, since 1997. Son of an insurance agent.
Okay.
We started our agency in 1998. We were working with American Pioneer, Pyramid Life, a lot of those companies. My father started as a captive agent in '84. Became independent in about 94, I believe. And so we started our agency in 98. We were getting within 2 years, we were getting over $1 million production. We had FMO contracts, got our first FMO contract with Conseco.
Oh, yeah.
And like 2000 when they were doing everything. Started recruiting, which we didn't know. We had our average agent selling about 200 policies a year. And we said, okay, well, we can get these national contracts, work on smaller margins. We're recruiting like 100 agents a month, and we thought that it was going to be the same production level, all of them. And we're doing the math and thought it was crazy. And then we realized that like one out of every
100 agents does that?
Yeah, well, if that, yeah. Your average agent's going to sell about 5 policies a year when you're doing that model. And so we said we need to fix this, and so we started doing recruiting seminars, and we were bringing agents that were from our FMO, we were bringing them into our office, doing seminar, all-day training events, and we were working with them really hard, teaching them how to get a lead system, all the base development things to get an agency. And it didn't take us long to learn that we're just pouring our efforts in as a young company with a few contracts. We're pouring our efforts into people who are going to talk to the next recruiter, and if we even did get them going, well, as soon as our rate became uncompetitive, a competitor was going to call in and sneak them out, and we're losing all of our mojo and all that. Yeah. So we still had that hybrid model didn't work for us. So we had a captive shop that we still did, our career shop, and we're like 6-7 agents strong, and we started doing prescription advocacy because back then everyone was. You save me $20 on my insurance, there's no Part D.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do for all these meds? And we're in home sales, and they pull out their stacks of meds, and we're like, well, we found out it was one search term that helped me. It was patient assistance programs. Mm-hmm. So I literally left on a Thursday afternoon when I found the search term patient assistance programs. On Monday, I came back. I learned how to use Microsoft Publisher, and I came back and said, here's a whole program, Senior Care Benefits Network. We're going to offer to help people get these patient assistance programs for $5 a quarter per medicine.
Nice.
And I did a mailer on it, and instead of getting a 2% mailer, I got a 6% increase on my mailings.
There you go.
Because I was leading with the prescription drugs, and we're going out there helping people with the prescription drugs. They're starting to fall in love with us because we have these programs, and and then we sold more insurance.
Natural, right.
Yeah. So we were becoming like heroes in the community, and the whole thing was working really well. But the mistake we made is we didn't know how complex patient assistance programs were. We literally thought you fill out some paperwork, it goes.
That's it. And then
we'll hire some people in the background. Well, my dad said, we'll hire some girls to do the paperwork. That's what he said. That company became 10 years of whiteboarding and software development to figure out how to integrate these carriers. It's a company now called Prescription Lifeline. It went from senior care benefits to select care benefits when Part D came out. We pivoted to the underage. And then in 2017, I helped with an overhaul of it after I'd been out of management for a while, and we did a rebranding of Prescription Lifeline, which is who it is now. In that, I had to learn how to build software and systems to create this integration of 270 different bureaucracies that I don't control and change their programs, and they define everything differently. Like in insurance, In insurance, we know what a Medicare supplement product is. We know an A, a B, a C, a D, E, F, G. We know what those plans are. In patient assistance programs, well, there's thousands of medications, and there's also every program, they all say if you can prove you can't afford your medicine, we'll give it to you for free if no one else will pay for it.
Right.
Well, they all interpret how to do that differently. And they all have different paperwork. They all have different process and all that. Long story short, over 10 years of whiteboarding and trying to figure out bootstrapping every way we can, we have a database, last I knew, had 185 different variations of ways that they can differentiate how they do it. So we had a database that holds that we get continuously feedback from them, from working with our clients and talking to the people on the front lines, that we track those changes that feeds workflow scenarios to where we would come out, and it's a ridiculous thing that we did. Like, the undertaking's just enormous, but we came out and said, look, if you do what we say, when we say it, and you work with us, you will get your medicine on a continuous basis.
Sure.
Which, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was 10,000 times harder than I thought it was.
I bet.
And it took a decade to get stabilized, really, and then it started growing and all of that. In the meantime, in 2007, I started Medigap 360. I said, I know this, I know internet marketing now, because we're getting all our leads online after Part D happened and all that, and even before. I know search engine marketing, I know search marketing. I want to do this for our insurance agency. Because at that time, we're maxed out on what we could do, direct mail radius, about an hour and a half radius. We're maxed out on what we could do on that. We wanted to expand, so we started practicing on selling through the mail, where we're mailing applications to people and bringing them back. And so we went from there, and I was like, let me try the internet. Well, within that year, by that annual enrollment period of that year, I was above Medicare.gov in the search engines, and I was getting 300 organic leads a day, and I had like 6 agents. And the biggest mistake I made then was to try to grow and catch up on my opportunities.
Sure.
Which was, another big mistake. Like, just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean that you have the ability to capture it. But I did then say, look, I'm going to be a trillionaire. Baby boomers aging in. I'm the first one in the space. It's the opportunity I always wanted. I know software development. Let's build out our systems. And so I started doing on both fronts. We started building out the scalable infrastructure from quoting, accounting, company integrations, all this stuff into our software system, commission payments, everything to be scalable to 1 million clients. And I was bringing in the agents on the other side. Well, we hit a point where that, we didn't make $1 trillion, and we got to a point where our call center actually collapsed in 2013. Down from about 37 agents to about 4, and we had to do a rebuild on that.
Sure.
Because our culture got out of control. My dad unexpectedly retired. We had some bad management in place and actually some thieves and criminals that stole a lot of our intellectual property and moved on and started some other things. But I don't really talk about that publicly much.
I bet.
But then we had to go through a rebuilding process and all that, and it was slow and over time. But at that point, the biggest asset I think I had then and ever was the software and the ability, because the intellectual property to be able to solve all these problems that agents have and all that. So I was down to one software developer. One of my head of technology left us with my couple other my C-level executives, and went off, started working for a carrier. And I had a software developer left, and I talked to him, and he had only had limited access to our whole system and stack. And we spent about 4 or 5 years uncovering all the things and going through the misunderstandings, because we had misunderstanding of purpose and things like that. 4 or 5 years before we really got it under control to bring it back. And that while running an agency and rebuilding all of that. And so it's been a dream of mine since 2012, actually, is when I first decided to do what we're doing now, because I thought that it could be a good industry-wide product. But we had those challenges, and we had to overcome all of those things and come back. And the time was, I was talking to people back then about APIs and how we could integrate carriers and all that. It's happened in some of the insurance world, but the Medicare space is just now knowing that that's even a possibility. So it'll take a little time for that as well, too. So You asked me what time it was. I told you a little bit how to build a watch.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no, I appreciate that. So what's the end game for Insurasales? Are you trying to just release a CRM, or are you trying to recruit with it? What's the goal with it?
I want to build a movement all the way around.
Okay.
I want to build a movement all the way around. So I don't like the way our industry's heading in a lot of respects. And not to talk bad about people and things and ways that things are happening, but I think the focus on quality is going away. I think individual insurance agents are being commoditized. The transactions between insurance agents and their prospects are being commoditized by people who have no interest in the quality of it.
Or the human behind it? Yeah.
Right. People are selling leads and they don't realize that's a human having an experience. And no one knows what a lead is anymore, and how to treat people like humans and all that. And I think the individual insurance agent needs to know that we are the prize in this industry. The people who are buying and selling and commoditizing all this can't sell the product. Don't sell the product. They don't know that. They're all fighting and selling over what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's time for the industry, for the agents to take front and center in the industry, right?
Good.
And so when I come in with this, first of all, the world's way too big for me to just hold a technology that, I'm a salesman at heart. My dad struggled for several generations in the sales business before he found insurance, and it took him years to become successful then.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to come in with him as a mentor and learn how to have immediate success in sales, and then us to partner together and have some success. But most people don't have that. But yet the ability to scale and all those things, most of that's just business normalization. Mm-hmm. All insurance agents want to do a couple of things. We want to recruit, we want to train, we want to sell. Some people just want to sell. Some people want to recruit and train. Most people don't want to do a lot of marketing. They'll do a little bit because it's kind of related to sales. No one wants to do accounting, legal. No one wants to do software integrations, drip campaigns, all that stuff. So when I build the things, we have the live Salesforce demonstration over here that my team uses. And I can show that, if you want to go in 50 states, you're going to have to get licensed in 50 states. You're going to have to get carrier quotes in 50 states and documents in all 50 states and all that. If I can pull that all together,
sure.
There's not a different way to do it.
Yeah.
Put it all in one pile. It solves that problem. So you go get a quote and it says you're licensed in the state but not appointed with this carrier in this state. You're contracted with this company, you're licensed in the state, but your appointment's out of whack. Don't sell it. Go fix that first.
Sure.
You start getting those things. That's the right thing for everyone.
Okay.
So we got hundreds of thousands of people selling Medicare and millions of agents doing other things. Those problems are all the same. So it would be almost selfish of me not to get that out there.
Gotcha.
Now, am I going to do it altruistically?
No.
To an extent, but I want to become a billionaire doing it because I think the opportunity is that big. Sure. My first thing out there is a free agent version, free agency version. We'll probably charge for enterprise and call center level stuff that we do over there, but mostly this is me coming out in the world, coming out and saying, hey, let's rally around this thing that I have that can solve our problems, help us empower the agent and do a little bit more, and we'll see what comes out of it.
Okay. I'm excited about
that's where it is.
Yeah, good. Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. It's a long way to a solution, but and I think a lot of agents out there were wondering some of the same things, and so thank you for letting me know that directly. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and there's more to it. People ask, you will have ways to, I have a lot of things coming. I don't want to leave it all up there. You will have ways to work in our downline, things like that.
Sure.
I can keep that out.
Yeah.
I'll never make it a requirement of the CRM.
Okay.
The CRM will work for any downline and all that. We'll even make your contracting easier, and you can put your own FMO's name on it if you want to. Let's get that out of there. What I really would like to see, if I had a dream of anything, is the agents be in control instead of the FMOs.
Okay.
If the agents, if the FMOs do such a good job for us, then why can't we put them in our downline? Mm-hmm. Why don't they have to come to us and say, hey, I need 3% on that med sup. I need 5% on that med sup because of all the things I do for you besides just carrier access. That's I don't know exactly how to do that or anything, but that's why isn't it that way?
Sure.
Because too many people are making money off position in our industry rather than on value proposition and value trade, things like that.
Okay.
So.
Well, awesome. Very nice meeting you,
Anything else?
Brandon. No, I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to Just seeing you thrive.
Did you see the platform yet?
No, I haven't, but I'm going to check it out for sure.
You're going to check it out now?
100%. Yeah. I did register for an account. I haven't had time to look at it yet, but you definitely you got me convinced to look at it.
So this is the agent-only version.
Okay.
We'll be releasing agency soon. We'll add Medicare Advantage in it by AEP.
Okay.
And our phone system. We'll have an integrated phone system with storage for the MA
requirement.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Stuff we already have.
Good.
What we have, I have 15 years of software developed here, and I'm releasing out little by little in an understandable way and in a stable way, because you get a piece of software, you can't just take the components off. You got to take them off and then put them back together.
Right.
So we're releasing it little by little in a way people can digest.
Nice.
And so I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
So you were working since 2005, and you've never heard of me.
No. I've heard of Medigap 360.
You knew Medigap 360, right? But you didn't know me. Was that surprising to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
But more I think about it, it's probably your choice. My guess is you were probably private, and you didn't want to be known yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. So I'm a behind the scenes, more of a technician and an inventor as a
showman.
I don't like being out. It took me 2 years of prayer, honestly, to come out publicly.
Okay.
And I had to talk to my wife and family about it. We're pretty private about it. But to come out publicly, get on social media and know all this stuff, like it's something that's required for the job.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm like also learning that I was being kind of a little, I got to be all private and all this. Like, I'm missing out on so much, being that way too.
Yep.
So,
sure.
So I owe it to the world, and I think I owe it to myself.
Well, good.
In the end, God gave me the light. He said, no one has a light and hides it under a bowl. Instead, he puts it on a hill and gives light to all, right? That's what he kept saying in my heart for the last year or so. I said, all right, I'll go out public. I'll be the face of this, and we'll go out and change the world. That's what I'm hoping to do.
I admire it. Crush it. I appreciate you, Brandon.
All right. Well, thank you. You want to take us out since you're the interviewer?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for joining us. If you guys haven't signed up already for Insurasales, you should at least check it out.
Insurasales.
Insurasales. What did I say?
What
did I say? Insurance sales?
Yeah.
Okay. Insurasales. You can see right.
And if you need a good, honest agency, it looks like Medicare Peace of Mind is doing some good things. So
thank you.
All right. God bless y'all. Y'all take care.
Yeah. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks.